I want to welcome everybody. DifferenceMaker is for all students from first year to PhD, for all types of ideas, solve all kinds of problems with different solutions. One of the things I'm going to do before we get started is I'm going to have Provost Hartman come up and speak and welcome everybody. If you can come up, Provost.
Ooh, can I ring my own bell?
You can bring your own bell or ring it.
How are we all doing today?
Yeah.
I know it's a smaller group, but small can be mighty. How many of you are return customers to the DifferenceMaker Challenge? Okay. Great. So we got a few folks coming back. Learned some things. Going to put back in. It's one of the best parts about the DifferenceMaker program, right? You learn a bit more every year. By the time you're seniors and grad students, you're making in the dough, kicking off the companies. How many are new then? A couple new folks. Welcome. You'll hear me say this at least 6 times a year. This is one of my favorite programs on campus, right? You get to find out something you're excited about, you got a lot of passion about, put together a team, try to tackle that problem. You can have a lot of help here. There's a number of faculty and mentors, a lot of staff here that really want to see you succeed. But it's all about, it's as much as about getting to that final answer as it's about the process, right? Figuring out, you know, it's what I love about the program. Take you through the ideation, different solutions, examining stuff, learning how to pitch, learning how to get some folks behind what you're doing. So take advantage of it, take advantage of everything you have to offer. When you go home tonight, go grab 10 more friends to join you, because this is the coolest, or I can't do that, this is one of the coolest programs on campus, and it's worth taking advantage of. So good luck in what you're doing, and thanks for being here.
So one of the things I'm going to start doing, what I'm going to start out is just kind of talk about our agenda for tonight. I'm going to do some introductions. I'm going to have some welcoming remarks. Well, we already had those. I'm going to talk about the idea. Students are going to talk about the idea challenge, Mina and Nick, and then we're going to have some real life, a panel with real life student presentations where we're going to have. They're going to be interviewed around what they've done, how DifferenceMaker helped them and move them forward on their ideas and what they're currently doing. So that'll be really a good part of the night. And then we're going to have an idea hack and an activity, which I think will be really fun. It usually is, where you're going to end up using Legos, and actually just Legos tonight because the Tinker Toys weren't available, to simulate problem and solutions. And then we'll talk about next steps, and we're also going to have our DifferenceMaker song performance live with Mina. So one of the things I'd like to do is if our faculty fellows could please stand up. We have a couple more coming in a bit. So Kevin, Ray, and Mansfield, thank you. Shut the microphone off. There we go. I put the clicker down, Kathy, back there. Thank you so much for all your support. And Tom O'Donnell's here, who also helps with this mission a lot. And Brenda, who's our dean. I think I have you on my next slide, so thank you all for coming. Is there anyone, so these are all our faculty fellows, but you'll see we have representatives of all the different colleges, which is really important. You know, we have engineering with Carter. So Carter and Kalila, they'll be here in a bit. They're actually at a Society of Women's Engineering meeting. Yuho Kim from the College of Health Sciences, and Honors College, Fine Arts. We also have Neil from the Fine Arts and Kevin from the College of Sciences, not the Health Sciences, and then Kevin Millett from the School of Business, and Kalila I mentioned from the College of Engineering. So our team, I already mentioned Brenda, the Dean of Student Affairs and Wellness, Holly Lalos, who's our director, out on leave right now. Myself, I'm Dave Vadalaro, we're a DifferenceMaker Fellow. And at my co-ops, we have Cameron, who's at the front desk, and Maddie, who's working remotely right now because she's on co-op, and Nick, Mina, Rayon, and Sammy doing our video tonight. So thank you all our co-ops who help with all the stuff that I can't do. Well, all these people help me with all the stuff I can't do alone, so I really appreciate it. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to have Nick and Mina come up and talk about the DifferenceMaker program.
Hi everyone, welcome to our kickoff. So what is the Difference Maker program? So the Difference Maker program is a campus-wide program. We welcome all students, so any major that you are, and any year, so you can be paired up with other students from freshman, sophomore, all the way to PhD. And it's just a resource for you to meet other students and also pursuing ideas that you're really passionate about. So what do we offer? So we have our Difference Maker Central. We're located right below Lyman Library, and right near Starbucks. We also have this mentor program, so you can meet with our faculty fellow and also meet other alumni who can give their expertise and advice to your ideas. We also have workshops that we offer throughout the semester where we have free food and you can learn more about ways to advance your ideas even further. And we also have our funding where we have college-based competitions in the fall. So we had our DCU Manning competition, the Francis College of Engineering competition prototype, and we had our FAST that we organized. And we have E4All and other community organizations where they also provide funding through there too. And so another thing, through this Difference Maker program, you can actually get credit just by attending our workshops or applying to our competitions. We have this Riverhawk Experience Distinction, which is also known as RED. And by taking 2 experiences and 2 entrepreneurship classes, you can get this different distinction where you can stand up from other students, and you also get a really cool cord to wear for graduation too. All right, and here I'm going to pass it off to Nick, who will talk more about the teams that we had in the past.
So I'm going to take a minute and go through some teams that we've had come through our program in the past. I'm going to talk about the problem they saw coming in, the solution they came up with, and the resources we were able to offer them. Team Hoppers came to us with a problem post-COVID in a world where students are learning behind screens. Their social skills are not developing the way they do when they meet in person. So the solution Team Hoppers came up with was a board game that's sort of a souped up version of checkers with frogs and superpowers and a whole bunch of fun stuff that helps students with their creativity skills, togetherness, their ability to strategize, and their ability to be social. We were able to offer them $4,000 as part of the First Product to Market Award. Team Minds with Purpose came to us seeing a lack of cohesion in the surrounding community for entrepreneurs, creatives, and business owners. The solution they were able to come up with was an agency that combines all of those things and more, including media production, talent acquisition, event management, marketing, all into one fun little package. And we were able to offer them $4,000 as well last semester. Sammy, on video tonight, is a member of that team. Team Tendrin came to us seeing a large number of preventable deaths in hospitals due to delayed diagnosis. So their solution was a wireless wristband that patients in the emergency room can wear that transmits their vitals directly to the nursing station. So in the event of a medical emergency, nurses can respond right away. We were able to offer them $4,000 as part of the Sutherland Innovative Technology Solution Award. Go back to Mina.
All right, so joining with us, Difference Maker, there's a ton of benefits. For example, you can get funding to advance your ideas. You get to network, meet other students. Also, it's a great opportunity to put in your resume just to show that experience. You also have access to mentors, and also you get to work with a team, make some new friends, while also building up your time management skills too. And it's a great way to practice your public speaking skills, doing a pitch, something similar like Shark Tank. And it's a nice safe space and environment where you can also test and don't having to worry about failing, because we all fail, and it's a great way to just practice. And a way that you can also learn to dress for success, and also getting that distinction on your transcript, like I mentioned before through the RED program. It's a great way to make yourself stand out from other students too. All right, so here Nick's going to explain more about the 50K Idea Challenge overview.
So our big event every year is our 50K Idea Challenge. Applications are open right now. We're looking for students with creative ideas who are looking to solve real world problems. They don't have to be massive. You don't have to end world hunger. It could be anything. It could be a board game, a product, a service, anything you can think of. We are here to help. We're looking for all majors and all years, freshmen straight through to PhD students. Your applications are due on February 13th. Then you'll go through our workshops in February and March, getting ready for the preliminary pitch-off event on April 4th, and then finally our big night on April 12th. More detailed information about the 50K Idea Challenge is available on our website, uml.edu/differencemaker. Our spring semester events, obviously tonight we have our Idea Challenge, Kickoff, and Idea Hack. Then again, can't stress this enough, application deadline, February 13th, 5 p.m. Our workshop series runs from February 22nd through March 16th. Each workshop has a different theme, from identifying your problem to assessing your opportunities and value proposition, developing your business models, and then the last workshop will be delivering your rocket pitch. Our pitch events, the preliminary pitch off is on April 4th. That's open to the public from 5 to 6. And then the Difference Maker $50,000 Idea Challenge big final event night is April 13th. If you're looking for a team or an idea, our online Team Maker platform is perfect for you. It's sort of like Tinder for Difference Maker. You go online and put in all of your fantastic qualities and what you're looking for in team members, and the platform will automatically match you with partners that are looking for people that have your skills. And again, if there's any questions, you can email us at differencemaker@uml.edu.
Thank you very much, Nick and Nina. So now we're going to actually have a panel with some recent Difference Maker teams that they're actually in their second year of after they've won Difference Maker, and talk about some of the progress they've made. Both teams have been really interesting in what they've done. If you could please take a seat up here, panel, and Nick, if you could sit right on the corner there. And so we have Green Fertilizer, we have Vizal Vang from Green Fertilizer, and we have from Terminus, who's rebranded as Auto Terror Project, Ariel Shremko and Elliot Perone. Thank you all for coming tonight, and we appreciate your being here and continuing to support the Difference Maker program and sharing all of what you've done. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for coming and doing this for us. I'm going to start with Team Green Fertilizer. Could you explain what your project is and where it came from?
So first of all, my name is Vizal Vang. I'm a third year PhD student in energy engineering. We start with a team of 3 students. All of us are PhD students. We start very small. We start from actually a coursework. It's a kind of capstone project that we did in a coursework. And 3 of us kind of know Difference Maker, know the competition, and want to try this idea to see if we can succeed. And from that small ideas, now it we can grow up and become like bigger and bigger.
So after you won funding from Difference Maker, we connected you with a network of mentors. Could you talk a little bit about who they were and how they were able to help you?
Difference Maker really play a significant role in shaping our idea and our projects. One of the most important aspects is after we win it, not only we got the funding resources, but also we got support from like mentor. Some of them are here as well. We learn how to shape our ideas, like what works, what doesn't work, how to design it, how to market it, how to think about legal aspect of it. Like for example, how to apply for the patent, how to turn it into a market-ready product and start a company, how to write a grant application to get more funding to support our idea, our projects. So that really, something that is unexpected, meaning that I get more than I expected from this program. Yeah.
Thank you so much. My next question is for the Auto Terror Project. You might need to turn your microphone on. Could you talk a little bit about the problem you came to DifferenceMaker looking to solve?
First off, my name is Elliot Perron. This is
Ariel Sharka.
and so it's definitely Ariel's idea, so I'm going to hand the microphone over there.
So starting off, I was really interested in ecosystems and using them, harnessing them to help people. And we started off with just this idea to create an ecosystem in a box with the internal environment separate from the external environment that could produce food. And we realized applications afterwards, well, I did at least, and I realized that this could be used to help ensure food security in places that are very difficult to reach, like space, which we'll talk more about later on, and also in difficult to reach parts of the globe or urban environments, basically anywhere where people can't get access to the food they need.
Why did you come to DifferenceMaker with this problem?
Well, it had been rattling around in my brain for a couple of years before then, and it was actually part of my decision to come to Mass Lowell. I knew that I wanted to at least give it a good shot at making it work. And so once I came here and saw what DifferenceMaker was all about when touring, I knew I had to try. So I came to Mass Lowell and I tried, and well, it's working out so far, so.
So my next question is back for green fertilizer. Your team has accomplished a whole lot since you've been here at DifferenceMaker. Could you talk a little bit about your most recent achievements?
So let's get back a bit about my problem. I forgot that. We found that we can solve the problem of especially in the agriculture sector regarding to fertilizers. So currently, fertilizer is mainly supplied by what we call harbor boost process. This process was invented in 19th century by scientists Haber's and Boss, and this play a very significant role in our life. Most of us not even notice it, but without this kind of invention, most of us would not be here today, because that artificial fertilizer that we get from Lowell, from Home Depot, support almost 70% of total population. So without fertilizer, we cannot get food, we cannot have something to eat. So this invention is really great. But the problem is that this technology consumes a lot of energy and produce a lot of CO2 emission. So far, it's almost 100 years now, and we cannot see any optimization that can do better for this process. So we come up with an idea to create fertilizer using plasma technology from air and water, so that it can supply fertilizer directly to plant and on demand, meaning that we can eliminate transportation costs from the factory to the farm, and we can delete the labor costs, meaning that we don't need human to involve in that fertilizer supplies. So we win 4,000 grant actually. It's a most important grant for us. And then up to now we got roughly almost 40,000 in funding. So we went from 40,000 and then we win another 5,000 from Ventura. One of our mentor, Tom, is here as well. He's very helpful with us. And then we got 8,000 from Office of Sustainability at UMassLowell, where we installed our prototype on the rooftop on the South Campus. And after that, we applied for Venture State 2, and recently we got 20,000 more. And that is the funding. And for the patent, for the intellectual property, we right now already have a provisional patent, and we are in the process of applying for the non-provisional patent and from a company. Actually, we have contacted the lawyers and have signed some form, so we should be ready for starting a company. So because we have developed a prototype, we make sure it works, and we can create fertilizer. We test on actual farm on the South Campus. So yeah, that's really amazing. That's really amazing experience. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Going back to AutoTerra project, this is your second year with DifferenceMaker. We're in a room full of people who are just now learning about what we do. Could you talk a little bit about your experience in the 50K Idea Challenge?
Sure, I'll talk about some of it. I'm sure you have stuff to share about it. So I came in basically just me, and DifferenceMaker helped me put together a team to actually, with all the skill set we needed. And then we went to all the workshops, and they taught us a lot about pitching and business. And then we won some money, and I was like, hoorah, we got this in hand. And then we hit the boot camp, and I was thinking, this is gonna be a breeze, we know this already. But no, we started learning more, and it really, I feel like it opened up our minds to how big what we were trying to do is, but in an exciting way, you know, like it inspired us to keep trying, and the mentors that we got paired with were great. They helped us with a lot of the information we needed in terms of I mean, I'm sure you can talk a little bit about how they helped with prototyping, but they helped us with how to talk to people who are interested in our idea, how to connect with people about our idea and start to get some hype about it. All right, I'm gonna pass it to you now.
Thanks, Ariel. So yeah, I think it was very different for us since it was over COVID, everything was online, and dealing with a physical product is something that requires very hands-on attention, which we couldn't have through the pandemic. It was like the peak. So it was really a really interesting challenge for us with a physical product. There were some software teams out there where it's a little bit different, but for us, hands-on was difficult. But I think some of the most important stuff we had was so our mentors were really valuable, as Ariel said. I mean, no one does it alone. Everyone needs help along the way. Every leader that got to where they are had someone mentoring them to get them to that spot. And so the people we had mentoring us was extremely valuable. They helped us provide a structure on how to iterate upon our designs and sort of develop our product such that it had a market. Because if we went and developed what we want to develop, we're not going to be able to sell anything. And so they really helped us laser focus on what's important and what's not. And it was almost more important to figure out what wasn't important. Because you can focus on so much at once, but if you're not going to focus on what's important, you're going to get lost. So there's a lot of things you can take into consideration when you're developing your product and your idea. But to really learn what's not important and not to focus on, just come back to that later kind of thing, you're going to be able to iterate every time. So every time you're going to learn something from the last time you did something. But what you don't want to focus on is really important, actually. And that's something I found in particular.
So as we look to wrap up, I've got a question for everyone. I'm going to pass the microphone down. What advice do you have for new students looking to get involved with DifferenceMaker now for the first time?
Just apply. just apply. Yeah. So at least you learn something. You learn how to present. You learn how to. At least you get some experience. I cannot emphasize more. I think the presentation give a lot of benefit, but you will learn from this program not only within the university but outside. Why? Because you need to connect with different people, different area, different resources. For example, me myself, apart from university, I go to visit different farms, talk to different people. I get to know people from Department of Agriculture and Energy Resources. So yeah, also all of this experience, sometimes we cannot learn in class. So yes.
The idea is 1% of it. The rest is iteration and failing nonstop, but that's all part of the process. And you're gonna fail a lot, you're gonna make a lot of mistakes, but you need to stick with it. The idea is such a small percent, part of it, even though it's in the name. I'm sorry, David, but it's that's the easy part. It's actually how do you make it a reality, and that's hopefully what you guys will learn. Is you have an idea, and they're gonna help you make it happen. So.
I feel like I need to just take this moment to plug why they a big part of why I think our team is cool. So we attended the NASA Deep Space Food Challenge, and we're currently one of the top 25 US teams in the challenge. And on top of that, we've been exposed to like a couple different mediums because of it. So we're a little bit famous in our tiny world right now. But in terms of advice I can give you, I mean, definitely stick with it. Talk to people, and also structure your time. Like project planning, it feels like such a small thing right now, but just making sure that you guys have time to meet and figure out, are we meeting our goals? Are we approaching this in the correct way? It seems like just small maintenance. It's not. It's so important. So that's what I would give you guys.
So one more thing. Like, work as quick as you can and set small goals. Don't set like, oh, I want to make 50 grand this year. Like, start small and just keep constant progress, because that'll motivate you more than setting a really big goal and then not hitting like that gratification of, oh, I made my like steps. So like, figure out what are the small things you can do today to make your dream a reality, and do what you want to do, and start there and move quickly, move as fast as you can, because it'll add up. If you move 50% faster every day, over a year, it's 50% faster. And if you say like, I'm gonna do this twice as fast in the year, it's probably not gonna pan out that way, because a lot of things get in the way in life. So just start today. Yeah.
So one of the, we asked, I think we're going to, before we wrap up, I was going to ask if there are any audience questions. First, let me grab a microphone.
So what my question is what was kind of like the legal process of dealing with like the inventions and stuff? Like, did you learn about contracting? Did you make contracts between yourselves of like who came up with the idea and ownership? And then like, was that also done like with mentors and stuff? So like, what was your whole legal process?
They do go over it. I will say, get a lawyer, meet with your lawyer. The DifferenceMaker has great connections for lawyers if you need those, so I would exercise those, but I don't want to say anything more without saying, get a lawyer.
Talk to the experts. Yeah. I don't want to speak like a lawyer because I don't know what I'm talking about, but they will know. So if you have any questions about that kind of thing, talk to someone who knows what they're doing. The school will be great setting you up with that kind of people. Yeah.
This was a new topic for me because I'm from engineering background. So this kind of thing was new for me when I first applied. But I learned throughout the process, like from mentor, from DifferenceMaker. So don't worry about it. When you win, you will know how to do that.
Any notes?
What is the best way to put a team together when you try to decide if you have an idea? What should you do? What kind of people should you look for? Similar or different people?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question, because the process itself, after you win, you have to work together for like for us around 2 years. So there's a lot of up and down. So I think, yeah, talk upfront, like choosing the team that have the same interest or similar interest and want to pursue in this journey. I think that's really important, and be true, be clear to each other. If you don't, because we are full-time student, I myself is a PhD student, so we have a lot of priority as well. So we have to manage our time for this project and for our study. So yeah, so all of us are actually in the same field, energy engineering, and we all are of PhD student. So we kind of talk and understand each other quite well. But I also want to hear from other team if they got different experience.
I think it's really important to have similar goals for the projects. If you guys all agree upon what the end goal is, then it's going to be very easy for everyone to put in a similar amount of time, similar amount of effort. And furthermore, I think it's not really that important if you're similar as people, but if the interests and the goals align, typically the rest kind of just happens naturally. And then furthermore, I think for a good teammate, it's really important to look for people who have done interesting problems and solve things outside of school. So if you've done like extracurricular projects that are not related to the school, just for your fun, those kind of experience and problem solving really comes in handy in the future, because those same mentality and just traits in general for problem solving outside of a structure like a school, it's the same thing. There's no book for how to do what you're going to do, so you're going to have to learn on the fly. And so it's really important to have people who are really entrepreneurial and like taking things into their own hands.
I'm definitely going to agree with Elliot here. You need the drive. The drive comes first. The drive, the goals. Do you guys work together well? And are you both committed to it? And then you guys, I mean, like you said, you're going to be doing something completely new. You're going to have to grow. And you guys are going to, shimmy into your roles, and you're going to grow into it, and you're going to grow together into what you need to be to succeed.
Hi everyone. My question was more on the legal front. You did mention that, talk to a lawyer, but in the product development phase, at what point would it be best to, file for provisional patent to see, do you proceed with the project and then realize, it cannot be patented for whatever reason? How is that part in the process works?
It's very complicated is the answer, unfortunately. So depending on what your idea is, and I'm happy to speak with you after, I've spoken to people who file patents and then don't build the device for 2 years after the patent is filed. So it's really complicated, and one of those things actually it's kind of tough with the DifferenceMaker challenge is once you publicly announce an idea, it can no longer be patented. So it really does depend at the end of the day, but there's really conflicting opinions around how valuable is a patent really, and for a lot of people it's really valuable, for a lot of people it's not. In a lot of ways it increases the value of the company in terms of valuation and investability. It's good for licensing, but the real secret sauce in every patent is how something is actually built, which is more like trade secrets. So I mean, it really depends, again, at the end of the day. But I think for our side, we really value the trade secret aspect of how the device is produced, put together, and why things are done in certain ways. Sorry to be so vague there, it is a very broad field.
Just a quick follow-up on that one. Given my background is in engineering, so a lot of products, there are a lot of Me Too's out there, and whatever you make, it's replicable somewhat. So in cases like that, what would you recommend? I know that's a tough one, but...
Can you elaborate a little more what you mean on Me Too? So you're copycats? Well, people go to the best, right? There's a bunch of Coca-Colas out there, but you go to Coke. There's a bunch of copycats. It's kind of I'd say just be the best, and then people will naturally flock to you, because ultimately, a patent is only as good as your ability to enforce it, and chances are, at the small stage you're going to be at, you're not going to be able to enforce a patent against a big company anyways, and especially overseas, I've dealt with people who have had a tremendous amount of difficulty fighting patents overseas. Copycats are bound to happen. There's just steps you can take to increase your level of, your difficulty of copying things. And I think that's more so with the trade secrets than anything actually, because once you patent it, it's only patented in one country a lot of times, unless you're going to spend a bunch of money. And if you're doing, patents in the EU, then they're going to be able to do it over there. Like I said, it gets really complicated.
Yeah, just to add on to that, we actually have seen a couple copycats of our idea. But because we have the secret sauce, it doesn't work. So if you have that secret sauce, whatever that is, it could be quality, it could be some sort of secret knowledge, and it doesn't work without it, then there's a reason why certain things are better than others. I'll just put it like that.
I just want to say one more thing. And also marketing, right? So if you have the best looking product on that buy page on Shopify, Instagram, Facebook ad, whatever, most people are rather going to buy from the Amazon Prime than the non-Prime product. That's how I'd also compete in that industry.
So for our team, right now we already have a professional patent. So there is two types of patent, a professional and non-professional. So for professional, it's easy. You just apply, and I think you spend less than $100 something, and you get it, and it lasts for 1 year. I believe, and then for the non-professional, it's a bit tricky because you need to involve lawyers. It is a permanent patent that you can use, so there's a lot of process. But one thing that I learned is you need to do the literature review. I mean, found what is available, what is not available, what you can do to better your product or your innovation, what is your uniqueness of your either design or either the innovation of production or the process of making it. So you need to find that, and then I think with lawyer, with the technical advisor, with mentor, I think through the process you should be able to figure it out if it's not too crowded on the market. I mean the innovation of the product. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Actually,
The U.S. Patent Office too. You can also check on that. They have all the patents. You can just search things up.
One more quick question.
How much your idea changed from the before joining the program until you finished it? How much it changed?
For us, not like, no, I think we still at least 90% the same. The change is only the how we make it better, how we find because that is important, how we find the uniqueness of the innovation that is different from what is on the market. What is the process of making it? I think the 10% that changed, and it changed for the better, actually. Yeah, but everything remained the same, the idea.
Ours was like the opposite, so it was like a 90% change, mainly because of cost reasons and scaling reasons. So your mileage will vary, but as long as you're trying and you're consistent and you're committed, it will work out.
An idea can be pretty broad. A product is something that exists. So when you actually build the thing, it's going to change a lot from what's in your head once you do the math, depending on what it is. Sometimes, yeah, if it's a pretty specific idea, it sounds like you had, then it's going to be a pretty good idea. But when it's just a, hey, we want to grow food kind of thing, there's a lot of ways to do that. So we had to look into that.
Excellent. Thank you very much, everyone. Actually have our teams present their problem and their solution. Which team would like to go first?
We're going first.
All right. I think this team wants to go first, so awesome. So,
I always around the water tank which we cannot clean. I mean, previously the women enter into the tank and clean, but women may feel that affected by health issues. The bleaching powder, I mean the powders which you use that will be detergent, it will be affected by women. So we are to automate the system. I mean we'll be using the 4 mechanisms to use this automatically. I mean the elder people or younger people who play the games or who watch the TV and go for jobs, then switch it, and before cleaning this, you have to remove all this water from this tank and go for switch it, and it will be automatically rotating, and always the present in this tank will be clean. Before tank, without clean, there is dirty things will be around the water tank. As you can see, algae, dirty particles like sand particles which from underground. So it will be sticky to water tank. That water we do not drink usually. That are more harmful to health. As a person who cleans the water tank, he may get affected. So that we will be having the automated system to clean the water tank, which will be having brushes that will be rotating. The only thing is the woman should not enter into the water tank or chemical tanks which are usually used in chemical industries, homes. I mean, if a person enters into it, it will be affected his health issues. So the thing is, if you push a button or press a button here, automatically the water, the one thing you have to see is the water will be clean here. I mean, the water should be empty here. And the thing is, if you push a button, all the things, the pressurized water will come in here, and also the rotating things will be rotate, and all the dust particles will be cleaned without any human effort. I mean, a person should not enter into the tank, and you should not face any things.
Currently, we have a problem with plastic waste, both post and pre-consumer. That being, plastic bottles, fishing nets, lots and lots of fishing nets. That's the problem, actually. So the solution to this is to make an industrial scale way of permanently removing this waste. Things like recycling, upcycling, and landfill are all temporary solutions and largely unsustainable. Recycling in particular, most plastic can't be recycled. That can be recycled can only be recycled once, maybe twice before becoming unrecyclable itself and inevitably ending up as permanent waste. Our solution to this problem is to make a power plant that burns plastic and then puts it through a catalytic converter, much like the thing on the back of your car, to destroy any and all toxins that would form from the burning of plastic, the reasons you can't just burn it normally. And this will allow us to create relatively clean energy, burning plastics, and power people's homes this way. Here is the lovely model of current energy production, where you have, burning plastic normally, where you have a furnace and maybe you make energy with it, but inevitably you have this black smoke full of all sorts of dangerous toxins that are very, very harmful to the environment. But instead, we're going to put a catalytic converter on top, and it produces much cleaner smoke. Still not strictly environmentally friendly because it is still carbon dioxide that it's producing, but a significantly more manageable environmental impact.
teams, we're not gonna vote, but
It's a tie.
it's a tie, you both tie winners, which I guess is what a tie means. One of the things we're gonna do is we're gonna give everybody a t-shirt, who came tonight. And the other thing, so Mina's gonna do real quick to tell you about the next steps for the Difference Maker program.
The Idea Challenge, you can go to our website, uml.edu/idea-challenge app, and applications are going to be closing on February 15th, and applicants will be sure to apply really quick. After that, you can meet with Dave, and you can also talk to your college faculty fellows as well, they can give you guidance throughout this process. And so, yeah, we have 4 workshops. The first one is on February 22nd, it's about identifying problems, and to register, you can also go to your URL. Our second workshop is February 27th, so about 5 days from there. It's about assessing option value proposition. March 1st, developing business models, and our last and 4th workshop on March 16th will be delivering our comprehension. And every of those workshops, we also have free food accompanied with that, and you can also ask us any questions, and we can also give some advice on your ideas as well. So be sure to check out these events.
Thank you both for coming, and obviously our faculty fellows, thank you all for coming. And anything else I missed, anyone?
Check out our Difference Maker social media page.
There you go. Yep, check out our social media page.